Some idiot who's got the name of a yogi, I don't know, maybe his parents made the mistake or he took it on, I don't know. He says, yoga made easy. Sit on a chair and do this and this and this. This muscle will work, this muscle will work, this muscle will work, yoga made easy. A monkey knows this. A monkey knows if he hangs from a tree like this muscle will develop, this muscle will develop, this muscle will develop. A chimpanzee knows it even better. You don't need to be a yogi to know that if you do this on the chair, this muscle will develop. So this is yoga made easy. So I thought it's good I read it today. So, this is what is happening because there is no investment in the concrete science of yoga. Benefits people are trying to reap. So one fundamental reason is we want to re-establish classical yoga. We want to build people who are willing to invest their life into the profoundness of yoga, not getting fancy benefits out of it, not hanging onto a chair or a tree and thinking you're doing yoga. If you hang upside down from a tree, you will be doing yoga for some time. If you jump off a mountain, head down, you will be doing Shirasasana for some time. Yes. This is the gadget. Every damn gadget has come out of this. How much percentage do you think are you employing this gadget? Just make a guess. How much percentage? 2, 5? You're being very generous to yourself. It's well below 1%. Because for your survival process, to conduct your life in the material world, you do not even need 1% of what this is. This is capable of perceiving the whole cosmos. If you prepare it properly, if you hold it, this is like an antenna. If you hold it in the right position, it can just grasp everything in the existence. It is just that we are doing all kinds of things with it because right now, our whole perception of life is limited to the physical nature of the existence. Physical is like the peel of the fruit. It has no purpose of its own. In the sense, if you have a fruit, the moment you eat the fruit, the peel goes straight to the trash can, isn't it? The peel is only a package. Only because the fruit is valuable, package is important. Right now as you sit here, this body is very important. You have to feed this, you have to clothe this, you have to decorate this, you have to pamper this in so many ways. Tomorrow morning, that's something inside which you never experienced. If that goes away, nobody wants to have any business with this. Yes? Only because the fruit is inside, this peel has become very valuable. Now yoga means not just about twisting your body, not about standing on your head, not about holding your breath. All these things a circus artist can do better than most yogis. Really? Yes or no? You don't think so? A circus artist can do far better than most yogis in terms of twisting the body, doing this, doing that, holding different positions. That is not the purpose of yoga. Unfortunately, if you utter the word yoga, people think you have to be in some impossible posture. Yoga is not about postures. It is just a minuscule aspect of yoga. Yoga means, in your experience, everything has become one. The word yog means union. What is the union? What can unite with what? As you sit here, Your idea and your sense and your experience of who you are is very strong. You're here as an individual. But what the trees are exhaling right now, you're inhaling. What you're exhaling, the trees are inhaling. Or in other words, one half of your lung is hanging out there. Yes or no? This is not just in terms of breath. Today, modern physics is proving to you that as you sit here, every subatomic particle in your body is in constant transaction with everything else in the existence. If this transaction stops, you will cease to exist. So yoga means to know it by experience. Modern science is proving to you the whole existence is just one energy. The religions of the world have been screaming for a long time that God is everywhere. Whether you say God is everywhere or you say everything is one energy, are we talking about the same reality or a different reality? God is everywhere, everything is same energy. Are we talking about the same reality or a different reality? Same reality. It is just that a scientist has never experienced this. He has arrived at it through mathematical deductions. A religious person has not experienced it. He believes it because it's written somewhere or it's said by somebody. If you are a hard case that you are not willing to settle for deductions or belief systems, then you become a yogi. Yes, if you're a very hard nut, you want to know it yourself, then you become a yogi. You want to know the union of the existence, you want to know the oneness of what it is, not believing it. Like you experience the 5 fingers of your hand, if you can experience everything around you, then we say you're in yoga. Essentially, everything in the universe is a question of perfection of geometry. Right now, planets are going around the sun, universe is moving, galaxies are going on. They're all in place the way they are in place, only because of perfection of geometry. One day, for 2 minutes, if the planet Earth thinks, let me go little off the orbit and come back, that's the end of it, okay? If it loses its geometry, it's gone. So, the geometry of the existence is such that today modern science is coming up with what's called as the constructional theory. What they're trying to say is, the geometry and the design of the atom and that of the cosmos is essentially same. Only the complexity and sophistication has multiplied millions of folds. This is something that we have been saying in yogic system forever, for thousands of years, anda pindanda. This means the individual and the universal is essentially same, only the complexity is multiplying. So if it is in design essentially same, if you get it into right kind of alignment, suddenly it does things that you have never thought it can do. If you had a television in 1960s, you would have a bunch of aluminum tubes sitting on top of your home. You're watching your favorite one-channel wonder and it went boop boop. Then you go up on the terrace and do this, it won't work, do this, it won't work. Then slowly get this into that place. Suddenly again the world pours into your sitting room. Just a bunch of aluminum tubes. Just get it to the right place, it absorbs the world and delivers to you in your sitting room. This also, if you just learn to sit right, breathe right, hold everything right in the right place, suddenly this can download the entire cosmos. Yoga means the technology of arriving at this, because to just get the geometry right, just to learn to sit right, this is very difficult for a thinking mind to understand. A yogi spends his entire life towards what is called as asana siddhi. This means he wants to master one posture, only one. I know in California you do 108. If you go to half an hour session, you do 100 postures and come back home because you want to sweat. No, only one posture, his entire life, he's meticulously arranging, rearranging, minutely arranging it in such a way that if he hits that particular posture, suddenly the entire cosmos is here, not there. For you to get some kind of understanding of this, for example, do you at least see me? Even if you're not listening to me, it's okay. Do you see me? Hello? Can you use one hand and point out where I am? Oh, you got me wrong. You know, I'm a mystic. Now this light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina, you know the whole story. So where do you see me right now? Within yourself. Where do you hear me right now? Within yourself. Where have you seen the whole world? Within yourself. Anything and everything that ever happened to you happened only within you, yes? Light and darkness right now happens within you. Pain and pleasure happens within you. Joy and misery happens within you. Agony and ecstasy happens within you. Anything that ever happened to you happened only within you. Right now somebody next to you touches your hand, you think you're experiencing their hand. No, you are only experiencing the sensations in your hand. Even without the aid of that hand, if you have an imagination, you can create the sensation. Yes or no? Yes, you can. So, you are experiencing everything, whatever you have known, only within yourself. In the very nature of things, you cannot experience what is here. You can only experience the way it happens within you. Or in other words, the fundamental seat of your experience is within you. If the entire human experience is being generated from within you, at least what happens from within you must happen the way you want it. Now, is this the goal of yoga? No. This is a small thing that you need to put aside, that your body and your mind are not an issue. They are stepping stones for bigger possibilities. But right now, people spend a lifetime trying to understand the tendencies of their own body and their mind. 60, 70 years of age, still you are struggling how to handle your thought and emotion. What to do with this? By the time you're 16, you should know how to handle your thought and emotion, but entire life goes how to handle your own thought and emotion. These are not curses, these are the greatest boons that you have, you can bloody think and feel. Yes or no? Aren't these the most wonderful things about a human being? You can think and feel, but this has become a huge problem. And of course, there are fixers in the society. How to fix these things? First time when I came to United States, I just couldn't figure this. It's many years ago. And wherever I went, people were talking about stress management. I thought, what? Why would they want to manage stress? Because in my understanding, we manage whatever is precious to us, our family, our business, our money, our property, whatever else that's precious to you. Why would you want to manage stress? It took me some time to understand, people have concluded that stress is a part of their life. Stress is not a part of your life. It is just that you don't know how to handle your own thought and emotion, isn't it? You don't know how to handle your memory and your imagination. All the wonderful things that you have as human beings, which other creatures don't have, which set us apart in every way. See, nothing wrong with an earthworm, it's more eco-friendly than you. You're only now trying in California to be eco-friendly, right? They've always been eco-friendly, that way they're ahead of you. But what is beautiful about a human being is, we can remember everything. we can project into future, we can create a world of our own the way we want it. If we want it, we can pull it down today and create another world tomorrow morning in our mind. Yes? Yes. But that's become the source of suffering for humanity. I hear every year 350 million people in Europe are on psychiatric medication. This is 39% of the population. So a society which has enjoyed generations of economic well-being, 39% of the people, if you withdraw a few pharmaceutical formulations, 39% will go crazy. You call this well-being, I'm asking you. But do you see entire world making a journey in this direction? In many ways, the entire world is trying to make a journey in the same direction of madness. Because the experience of life, as you sit here, the experience of life is not good enough. The world is moving towards chemicals to create experience. I'm not looking at this morally. I'm only talking about the efficiency of it. Sure, chemicals can cause experiences because all experiences within you is also a certain kind of chemistry. What you call as peace is one kind of chemistry. What you call as love is another kind of chemistry, joy is another kind of chemistry, anxiety is one kind of chemistry, madness is another kind of chemistry. There is a chemical basis to human experience, no question about that. Now there is a way to take charge of this, that you make yourself in this way that you are not an issue. If you are not an issue, you can handle any issue. Now the problem is you yourself a big issue. Everything, every gift that is been given to you, every faculty that's been given to you is a big issue. Your cerebral capability itself is a tremendous issue, isn't it? This is the greatest gift, but it's become an issue, it's become a problem. This is because there is no yoga. When I say there is no yoga, don't think I have to stand on my head, that's why it's not happening. No. No yoga means there is no union. You become too much of an individual. You started believing that you're an individual. Somebody thinks you're an individual, that's his problem. But you think I'm this, I'm a world by myself, then life will give you treatment. That's the treatment that is going on right now, suffering. As a generation of people, you're experiencing more comfort and convenience than any generation ever in the history of humanity. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
But whining like crazy because life is giving you treatment. It's giving you treatment because there is no yoga. The boundaries of who I am has become so rigid that life will tell you in its own way. We can do one simple experiment right now. Put these hands together with your eyes closed, just intensely rub these two hands together for a minute, like this. Just hold it apart by 4 inches. With your eyes closed, just hold these hands 4 inches apart. Something happening between the two hands? Okay? So this is the nature of your sensory body. If something effervescent happens in this, the sensory body will expand. You might have experienced this. You know why people are rubbing each other all the time? Because some sense of oneness. Yes, your sensory body expands and some sense of being beyond yourself. It doesn't last, that's a different thing, but at least there is some sense of unity in the thing. Now, the nature of the sensory body is such, if your energies are in an effervescent mode, then you will see sensory body will expand. Suppose your sensory body became as big
as this hall, let's say, then you would experience all these people as a part of yourself. Because anything which is within the boundaries of your sensation, you always experience as myself. Suppose you experience this one and this one and this one and this one as yourself, then do I have to tell you, don't kill this one, don't harm this one, don't rob this one, don't torture this one? Do you need teaching? I'm asking. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, do you need teaching? You would not need any morality because your humanity is full-fledged. Your humanity is full-fledged means your sensory body expanded. Now you felt very clearly, by experience, as you am experiencing the material that I gathered from many places and made body out of it, and now I feel this is me. If you felt everything else is me, then we say you're in yoga. If your sensory body became as big as the cosmos, the entire universe you felt within yourself, then we say you're a yogi. I think we went too far with yoga. Because your idea of being individual is a very convoluted idea, because you can't exist for a moment as an individual by yourself, without the support of the entire structure, isn't it? The entire system is constantly working to just make you breathe and be alive here. So, this sense of individuality is the basis of everything. All the crookedness, all the evil, all the violence is simply because this is me, that's somebody else, isn't it? Yes, fundamentally, this is me, that's someone else, I don't care what that is. If I experience this is me, then nobody has to tell me how to be. Nobody has to teach me what I should do and what I should not do. If you experience everything as myself, when you experience everything as myself, then we say you're a yogi. That's what being a yogi or being in yoga means, not just turning and twisting our bodies.
See, it's like this. Right now there is water in this glass. This is definitely not you, yes? But if you drink it, it becomes you. What is it that you did with this water that something that's not you became you? When you say inclusiveness, this is all you're talking about. Something that is not you, you want to make it a part of you in some way, isn't it? So this is right now not you, but if you drink it, it becomes you. So what is it that happened technically for you is just this. Right now, I'm asking you, you take your right hand, all of you, take your right hand and touch your left hand. Is that you? Hello? Touch the chair on which you're sitting. Is that you? How do you know this? What is the basis of this? How do you know this is me and this is not me? Here there are sensations, here there are no sensations. Or in other words, what you are saying is, whatever is in the boundaries of my sensation is me, whatever is outside the boundaries of my sensation is not me, isn't it? Right now this is not me. If I drink it and include it into the boundaries of my sensation, this becomes me, isn't it? Now, the boundaries of your sensations are such that if you make your life energies very exuberant, you will see they will expand. If it happened to you, suppose, it should have happened to many of you, there was a moment in your life when you felt so joyful, tears came to you. Did it happen to you? You were so joyful or loving, tears came to you. At such a moment, if you take your hand and just put it 6 to 8 inches away from your body, right here, you will feel sensations. If such things did not happen to you, I can do something horrible to you so that you experience something. We can chop off your right leg. If you chop off your right leg, the leg is gone, but still the sensory leg may remain intact for a period of time. You heard of this phantom leg? Leg is… physical leg is gone, but the sensory leg is still there. This means sensory body has a structure of its own. If your energies become very vibrant and exuberant within you, your sensory body all expands. Whatever… suppose my sensory body became as big as this, now you become a part of me in my experience. If it became as big as this hall, all these people become a part of me in my experience, because my sensory body has stretched. We can do a small experiment. You okay to be a guinea? Hello?
Yeah.
What we will do is, with your eyes closed you have to do this, but right now observe me. What you do is, with your eyes closed, just rub this briskly like this for 2 minutes, let me say, 1 minute, and briskly. Okay, keep your eyes closed and just hold your palms 3 to 4 inches away from each other with your eyes closed. Something happening between your hands? Hello? Okay, please open your eyes. So just a little bit of rubbing, you didn't do it for a minute either, just 20 seconds. You rub it and suddenly something happening between these two hands, simply because of vigorous movement, the sensory body has expanded. You can feel something happening right here. You know why people are rubbing each other all the time? It's an effort to include someone who is not a part of you as yourself. If this happens, if this happens in a very basic physical level, we call this sexuality. If it happens emotionally, we call this love. If it happens mentally, it gets labeled as greed and ambition and conquest. If it happens on the level of your sensory body, we call this yoga. Now, yoga means union. Union does not mean you caused the union. Anyway, it is happening as one. You allowed yourself to experience it. That means the walls of self-preservation you loosened up a little bit, that's all. Why you want somebody close to you, why you want a loved one in your life is, somewhere you want to loosen the walls of self-preservation where you don't have to worry about protecting yourself. Suddenly you feel one with them. And once you feel one with them, in some way you want to be in touch with them, because you're trying to loosen up your sensory body in such a way that you can experience that which is not a part of you as a part of yourself. Now, this need not limit it to be one person or anything like that. This need not be biologically connected. If you can sit here with your life energies at its peak of exuberance, you will experience the whole universe as yourself. Then we say you're a yogi.
Well, since you mentioned yoga, I do have 2 questions about yoga. In China, the mainstream yoga practitioners, they are more seeing yoga as a physical exercise to help them like get
I thought that's only in
slimmer. No, the same everywhere. Get weight loss or enhance their health. So, but for advanced practitioners, they may want to see how their practice can go inward to change the inner world. So, do you have any suggestion on that? How do you do yoga from outward to inward?
The word yoga means union. Are you breathing right now?
Yes.
You are. But most of the time, most human beings are not conscious that they're breathing. Breath means, on one level, you're in union with the rest of the atmosphere. That's what it means. If you breathe, you're breathing in the world in many ways. Today there is substantial evidence to show there is enormous memory in the air that you breathe. It has gone through so many things, everything is there in some sense. So, when you breathe, you're in union with the atmosphere around us. When you eat, you're in union with the earth which you walk upon. When you drink water, you're in contact with everything around you. But it's not in your experience. If, for example,
If you are conscious, what you exhale, these trees are inhaling. What they're exhaling, you are inhaling. Suppose you were conscious, not in your mind, not as a thought, but as a living experience. You understood, you experienced that one part of your lungs is actually the tree. If you experience this, do I have to teach you what is the right thing to do about the tree? Do I have to tell you? No. In United States, generally these things are referred to as woods because they need furniture at home. Their homes are built with wood, so they need wood. So whoever came here first, they saw the tree and they called it a wood. If you had no compulsions of furniture, if you really looked at a tree and inhaled what the tree is exhaling, you would see it as a part of your life. And it is. Will you realize this after all the trees are gone and your life is going? Or will you realize it now? This is the question. This is not just about… I'm not talking ecology, I'm talking about fundamental life-making material, the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, the earth that you walk upon. These are all life-making material. This is your life, spread out there. When you gather it, you think it's me. When it's thrown around, you think it's not you. Yoga means you experience everything as yourself. Or in other words, breaking the boundaries of your physical boundary that you are in. But now, a whole lot of people are using yoga to consolidate their boundary. They think they're doing yoga to build abs. Instead of opening up the boundaries of your body, you're trying to consolidate the boundaries of your body. This is like using an airplane to dig into the earth. You know, if you want to dig into the earth also, there are borers which rotate. So you get an airplane where propellers are rotating and you try to dig into the earth, you will realize that it's not made for that purpose and obviously you will be frustrated, and that's all that's happening right now. Every day you get up and twist and turn, after some time you'll get bored and say, hell with it. And you'll do something else after some time. Only if you use an instrument for the purpose for which it is created. If I ask you to unscrew this screw in the furniture, if you try with your hands, all your nails will go. I will allow you to use your teeth, they will also go. But if I give you a simple screwdriver, you will get it out, isn't it? I gave you a screwdriver, you don't know what to do with it, so you put it in your ears and turned it. Damage may happen, well-being will not happen. But a screwdriver can be fantastic if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, it works against you. So I'm using a very simple basic example, but yoga is a very complex, very complex instrument or a technology. Far more complex than most people ever imagine. If you use it well, you can make the entire cosmos happen within you. This is what it means. Yoga means union. Union means if you sit here removing the boundaries of your physical nature, you can sit here experiencing the entire cosmos within yourself. But now, you're using the instrument of yoga to build a wall that nobody can crack.
So how can yoga create something like that? So
That's why I'm coming to
magically?
China.
Oh, okay. Because, for example, we are in a mountain pose, and if we do it as just asanas, or we do it as you say as a tool to feel the nature, feel that we are part of the nature, or we are one with the nature. Can you tell the difference, or what's the trick? Is in the breathing, or
No.
how you do it?
First thing is, there is no trick. The problem is in the transmission, the way it is transmitted. See, if I give you a flower, it is alive, it's full of life. You will have to care for it in a certain way. When I find you don't know how to hold a flower, there are people like this, I give them a flower, they will grab it like this. Those who don't know what it is, they will grab it like this, flower will die right there in their hands. So then, what to do? Then we will give you a plastic flower. All over China, there are lots of plastic flowers. In every hotel room I go, I see plastic flowers everywhere. Because for people who are unconscious, plastic flowers are best. Plastic flower only looks like a flower, but it's just a piece of plastic, it's not a flower. Flower means it is the peak of that life. A plant is there, what is the peak of its life? Flowering, isn't it? It's the peak. Flower is a representation of the peak that life can attain to. But you make a plastic flower and give it because it's convenient, and you can hold it whichever way you want, you can even beat your children with it, if they're not obedient. Now, you have a piece of plastic which you think is flower. So this is what is happening to yoga. Without the subjectivity, just the instructions are going. So you have a stillbirth. Isn't it better not to get pregnant than to have a stillbirth? So if fitness is what you're looking for, please go swim in the Yellow River, play tennis, climb a mountain, do something for fitness. Yoga definitely gives you fitness, not just physical fitness, it gives you fitness on all levels, but that is not the reason why you practice it. You practice yoga because you want to become one with everything. So in the transmission, there must be subjectivity. Right now, we have become slaves of objectivity because we are not using any other form of intelligence within us except the intellect. If you use only the intellect, is it true that intellect is useful only if it's sharp like a knife? You want a dull intellect or a sharp intellect?
Sharp.
Sharp. So it's a knife. Now you use a knife to stitch, you will only tear it further. Knife is not an appropriate instrument to stitch. If you want to stitch, you need something else. But now you're using a knife to stitch, it's not going to work. So, yoga, unfortunately, is going through this phase around the world that only the physical aspect. A stillborn child is being delivered. People think they got a baby. They don't have a baby, they have a dead baby. It still looks like a baby, of course, but it's not alive, it's not going to grow. If you have a plastic flower, it's not going to blossom, isn't it? So this is not going to blossom. Maybe you will get abs if you stretch and turn enough, but you are strengthening the wall instead of opening up the wall.
So
No, I'm only talking about the wall of your body, not the China wall.
Yeah, okay. So the critical point is not how you do it, but how it was transmitted to you?
Both. It is equally important. How it is transmitted is vital, but how you receive it is also important. How you practice it is also important. Without bringing those dimensions into the process, if you just bring a bunch of instructions, then it becomes a very objectified yoga. With this you may get physical fitness, but that is like using an airplane like a bullock cart. That which can fly, you make it crawl around, what is the use? If you see a bird whose wings are damaged and it cannot fly, do you feel sad about it? Yes?
Yes.
But if you see a buffalo without wings, you don't feel sad about it, isn't it? Because a buffalo is only supposed to do that. But when you see a bird which could fly and now it cannot fly, that saddens you, isn't it? If I was capable of becoming sad, looking at the yoga in the world, I would have become sad, but I've become incapable of becoming sad, so
So what makes Isha yoga different from normal yoga?
subjectivity,
Can
subjectivity.
you elaborate more on subjectivity?
Isha Yoga is never taught by a professional teacher, never. Unless they hold it above their life, unless they hold it more important than their life, I will not let them teach Isha Yoga. Not as a profession, not as a hobby, not as entertainment, no. You must hold it as something more important than your life. Then only we will let you teach, because only then we can load subjectivity into the yoga that is offered. Otherwise, you will become professional. If people pay you more, you will do little more. If people pay you less, you will do little less. It'll not work like that. Once that calculation comes, it will not work. Right now it's working the way it's working because it's delivered through dedicated people who are willing to give their life for it.
Last question from me before we go over to the audience. You've spoken of yoga as a gift to the world, but many resent what they see as Western appropriations of yoga, as sort of the ancient spiritual practices that Western people are selling and profiting from. What do you say to these criticisms?
See, yoga is a very profound science, but it finds… people start, like for example, electromagnetism is not something that most people understand on the planet, but everybody is using a phone, all right? Everybody is using all kinds of gadgets. They don't know a thing about the science behind it. They may be using it for something very profane, not anything profound. That doesn't make the technology bad, that doesn't make the science behind it in any way contaminated. Similarly, the yogic science is a very profound science of… it's about exploring the mechanics of being human. Somebody uses it to cure their backache and they think they've made it. It's unfortunate, but what to do? See, if I give you an airplane, the way the Oxford is made, this village, suppose I park an airplane in one of these places. Suppose you don't know the concept of flying, you just saw this and you thought this is some kind of an automobile and you want to drive. But these two ugly things going to hit your buildings all on lampposts. So you decided, you came up with an innovation, you chopped off both the wings and started driving this airplane around. I'm sure you'll be a popular guy out here. Everybody thinks you got a great car, but someone who knows what it means to fly sees an airplane with chopped off wings, he will cry. Well, when I see the yoga that's being taught around here, I feel like crying, but I've learned to laugh at everything, so I'm okay. So is it a good thing? No, but maybe this is how they start. This is how they start, because that is where their mind is. Children start with everything in a certain way, and then maybe they will slowly mature. So right now, yoga is in a childish form. It's not the way it should be. It's not representative of what it is. But I believe even doing that wacky little yoga that they're doing, they'll have some benefit. When they have their benefit, they may come to me. I'm waiting. See, I've waited a long time.